Jaguars' schedule, 7 games remaining. The next 2 obviously are pretty huge. Jags already 1-2 in the AFC South. The story is what Gardner Minshew did in the 8 games Nick Foles was out. He obviously gave the Jaguars a chance going 4-4 as the starting quarterback. This season could be a mess by now, and it's not. Doesn't make Gardner Minshew feel any better. He would love to still be playing as a starting QB. He went back home this weekend on the bye, and he's got a lot of believers here in Jacksonville and a lot more back in Brandon, Mississippi.
Gardner Minshew, the rookie from Washington State, is in at quarterback.
Minshew,
the mustache,
do the magic,
I've
man.
got Minshew Mania.
I mean, it's incredible. The kid's just running around.
Dancing around.
Nothing's too big for that kid at all.
Dodging tacklers now, throws end zone, caught, touchdown!
This week in Jacksonville, Minshew Mania was put on pause.
And then Nick will be our starting quarterback going forward.
The spectacular and unexpected rookie season from Gardner Minshew could be over.
He's done a great job. I feel a whole lot different about him now than I did prior to him playing in a very positive way.
Minshew over the middle, throws too high, and it's intercepted.
A tough 2 days after an incredible 2 months.
When I say someone's a competitor and they hear something like that, I think everyone can figure that out.
If you know anything about Gardner Minshew, this is just another piece of wood on a fire that started burning back in Brandon, Mississippi.
Here's the church he grew up in that we're members of, Brandon First United Methodist, and that's the basketball gym.
We went to town a little bit. Obviously, it's a small downtown, so.
Yeah, old downtown. That's one of the reasons we liked here, too. We looked at a couple other places that had 6A schools, and we like the fact that Brandon's an old town. This town really revolves around the school here, and that's very neat.
Brandon, Mississippi loves their high school, and they love their football. This state-of-the-art facility says it all. At one time, this video board was the 3rd largest in the state, only behind Ole Miss and Mississippi State.
Looking, pump fakes. He's going to go for Ivory. He's got him. Touchdown Bulldogs on the pump fake.
This town of Brandon Bulldogs also loves the underdog, and Gardner Minshew is an underdog story.
It's, I think a lot of people still have a chip on their shoulder, and rightfully so. He was shunned. They would come get guys out of classrooms that he was in. The big 3 schools here, all, told him no. I think told him no 3 times, out of high school, out of junior college, and then out of the transfer portal. So that's on them, and it worked out to his benefit.
Just across town is Brandon High School, and that's where that brand new football facility is. But that's not where Gardner Minshew played his high school football. This is instead Louis Jean Strickland Field, the place where Minshew Mania was born.
Every year he was here, we either played for or went to the state championship or South State championship. And, we all knew he was special. We knew he was a great quarterback and very smart.
This is the next wave of Gardner Minshew's.
Yes, this is Shiloh Park. You see what you got walking in right here. That was us, 16 years ago.
Was he pretty good, just a good athlete in general?
Yeah, he's always been, he's never been the most athletic guy, but he's always been very good because he was a good athlete, but he was always very smart and very analytical.
He has always been a character. When that was the class where I did teach him Beowulf as well, the famous literary story. And when we were going through Beowulf, he would stop and say, "Oh my gosh, that's a great football line," because it's a story about a warrior. He'd say, "Oh, we got to tweet that out." So we would stop, and we had these tweetable moments all throughout Beowulf. And then one day he said, "Miss Robinson, I was supposed to be named Beowulf." I said, "You were not going to be named Beowulf." He said, "Oh yeah, my granddaddy wanted to name me Beowulf." And probably a month later, I said something to his dad, Flint, and he's like, "Oh my gosh, I forgot that. That was considered. We were going to name him Beowulf Minshew after the greatest warrior ever." But he said, but his mama said no to that. Gardner it was.
Minshew Mania started for us when he was on the field here at Brandon.
And it's still very much alive. Duval! A few weeks ago, we visited a 2nd grade class at Stonebridge Elementary. One of the assignments? For the kids to make goals like Gardner.
I will get good grades all day.
Yeah, good for you, man. I like it. These kids know Gardner Minshew. Everyone here does. Miller Waits got to sleep with Gardner's MVP Alamo Bowl trophy.
I was just laying on the concrete waiting until he got out there, and then he picked me up and said, "Happy birthday."
That's really cool. And the next Gardner Minshew from Brandon, Mississippi might be the Bulldogs senior quarterback, Coach Wyatt Rogers' son. He's committed to Mississippi State.
I've learned a ton from Gardner, but the thing that I've learned most is work ethic. You know, nobody ever thought he'd be where he is.
Sundays might be different the next couple of months in Brandon, Mississippi, but they believe they'll be watching number 15 again on Sundays pretty soon. Good people in Brandon, Mississippi, and a good story in Gardner Minshew. What was Minshew up to this weekend? Watching his sister play volleyball at Mississippi State. Callie is a freshman, really good player. In fact, everyone in Brandon told me Callie is a better athlete than Gardner. I'd say they are both pretty good.